YouTube, this may be the last video you guys get from this view inside of this car. Yesterday, my car decided to quit on me. I believe my car has bit the dust. Oh no! No, crazy story. I went to McDonald's on my lunch break yesterday, and when I left the restaurant, my car wouldn't start. And it was probably karma because how I showed out at McDonald's yesterday. Let me just go on and tell y'all about it before I get into the car situation. So, I was at work. I was talking to my coworker, and I was just like, yeah, I'm finna go to McDonald's to get some lunch. And she's just like, oh, I got a meeting. Will you pick me up something too? Okay, cool. What you want? She said, I want a McDouble with a large fry. And I was just like, okay. So I leave. I pull up to the drive-thru. I order me a 10-piece nugget combo with a Diet Coke. And I order her a McDouble with a large fry. So, go to the first window, pay for my food, they hand me my card back with the receipt. Go to the second window, the lady hands you the food, and so I'm like, I immediately noticed that I'm missing a fry. And so I tell the lady, I was just like, hey, I'm missing a fry. And she's just like, oh no, your fry in the bag. And I was just like, no, I should have 2 fries. I'm missing a fry. So I go to pull my receipt. Well, as I'm pulling my receipt, she leaves the window, then comes back and just hands me a fry. I was like, have a nice day. And I was just like, oh, okay, thanks, whatever. Not thinking much of it. Well, McDonald's is not too far from my job. So I get down the road and I'm like, let me check this food, right? Let me check the food. So I look at the food. I see 2 cheeseburgers and it say add mayo. And I'm like, you know what? This ain't even my order. No nuggets, no nothing. Or whatever. So I was just like, let me turn around. So I turn around, pull into the parking lot, park, and I go in. Well, of course, it's lunchtime. It's crazy busy. Like 7 people were already waiting on their food. This particular McDonald's, you have to like order at the kiosk. It was one guy standing at the front desk because I guess he had cash waiting to pay. I mean, it was a mess. 2 ladies had actually asked for a refund. The manager, it was crazy. Well, when the manager came over, gave those ladies a refund, I can tell she was already in the mood. She saw me standing there with my food, and she's just like, can I help you? And I was just like, yeah. So I just came through the drive-thru, and I believe y'all gave me the wrong order. I'm missing my chicken nuggets. It looks like I may have gotten a 2 cheeseburger meal. But, I mean, I don't mind keeping the cheeseburger meal in place of the McDouble or whatever. And, like, she didn't let me finish. She just, like, cuts me off, and she was just like, no, all food has to be accounted for. If you want a cheeseburger meal, you're going to have to pay for it. And I was just like, oh, okay. So, like, I give her the food. She take the food out my hand or whatever. And I'm just like holding the receipt like, okay, whatever. So I hear her go over to the other employees and was just like, see, I told y'all are getting off track. Y'all are giving the wrong food out. The guy just came back. So the lady comes back with my order and she gives me my food. And she's like, thank you. Have a nice day. So I look in the bag and it's only my McNuggets and a large fry. And I was just like, well, ma'am, I'm missing my McDouble. So she whips around and she's just like, you never said anything about a McDouble, sir. You only said you were missing the McNuggets. And I was just like, well, ma'am, that's what I was trying to tell you. I ordered a McDouble too. I'll keep the 2 cheeseburgers in place of the McDouble if you just give me the missing nuggets. But you were saying, all food had to be accounted for, which, when restaurants take food back, you can't reserve that to customers. You have to throw that away. So I'm just like, oh no. But I thought that was a fair trade. The McDouble for the 2 cheeseburgers, like, I'll just keep that. Anyways, she goes, well, you never said anything about a McDouble. And I was just like, yeah, that's what I was trying to explain to you. You kind of cut me off a little bit or whatever. And so I give her my receipt. And she's looking at it. Well, then she says something smart. I don't remember what it is because it all happened so fast. She said something. I said something. And then the last thing I remember her saying is she looked at me, rolled her eyes, and was just like, I'm trying, sir. And I was just like, well, go do it. Well, go do it. Then she walked off and did it. But after the fact, like, I was so heated in that moment. Like, after I calmed down, I was kind of embarrassed a little bit because I'm like, dang, I don't never want to be that person that goes into a restaurant and disrespects an employee. You know what I'm saying? But the lady took me there. But yeah, anyways, get my food. She finally corrects the food. I get my food. I go out to my car. Car would not crank. Car would not crank. I put the key in the ignition and it's just dragging. And I'm like, man, for real. I tried again. That's all it's doing. I ended up flagging a guy down in a Ford F-150, and it's just like, hey, man, my car won't start. Will you give me a jump off? So he's just like, oh, yeah, I got some jumper cables. So he pulls up beside me, tries to jump me off. Didn't work. It's still doing the same thing. I'm like, bruh, you can't be serious right now. It's like, damn, I'm going to have to call a tow truck. So I called my coworker, and I was just like, hey, if you want this food, you're going to have to come up to McDonald's and get it, because I got to call the tow truck. My car won't start. They're going to have to tow my car or whatever. So after I get off the phone with her, I immediately look up tow trucks in the area, call the nearest one. They was there in 7 minutes. Actually, my coworker and the tow truck people pulled up at the same time. That's how fast they were. I appreciate that. But got the car towed. I bet you them folks in McDonald's was laughing at me like, yeah, he tried to come in here and show out, which it wasn't my fault. I wasn't showing out. I promise I wouldn't. But he got his car towed. But y'all, I had to tow my car all the way back to Athens, $125, which the insurance would reimburse me. But people asking, what's wrong with it? What's wrong? I don't know. It could be a plethora of things. It could be my starter. It could be my battery. It could be my alternator. I got an alternator 3 years ago. I got a starter 5 years ago put on the car. The battery I got in 2021. I mean, it could be any of those things, but they're not old. I don't know. Which I had told y'all I was trying to look for a car anyway. It's time. This car, I've had this car for 15 years. It's a 17-year-old car. It's a 2006. I got it in 2008. 267,000 miles. 267,000 miles on it. I literally, and look, rode this till the wheels fall off because I was going to get tires this Saturday. Adulting is not fun sometimes. You know, I like spending money, but big purchases like cars and houses and just big purchases like that kind of make me nervous, you know. I was in here now trying to clean up some stuff and get my jumper cables out and put them back in the bag. But I don't want a car payment. I do not want a car payment. Well, yeah, that's how my March started off. Yesterday was March 1st. That's how it started off for me. Stay tuned.